Traveling often involves renting a car, whether for vacations, business trips, or temporary transportation needs. For individuals with mobility challenges who rely on accessible parking, a common question arises when renting a vehicle. Can you use your disabled parking permit in a rental car? The answer in most cases is yes. A disability parking permit is issued to a person, not to a specific vehicle. That means the permit can usually be used in any vehicle as long as the person to whom it was issued is present in the vehicle. Understanding how disability parking permits work when using rental vehicles can help ensure that individuals continue to enjoy accessible parking privileges while traveling. A disability parking permit is designed to help individuals with mobility limitations access designated accessible parking spaces. These spaces are typically located closer to building entrances and often include additional room for safely entering and exiting vehicles. Because the permit is issued to an individual rather than a vehicle, it can generally be used in different vehicles, including personal cars, borrowed vehicles, rideshare vehicles, and rental cars. When renting a vehicle, the most important rule is that the permit holder must be present in the vehicle when the permit is used. If the individual with the disability is driving the rental car, they can display their permit and use accessible parking spaces just as they would in their own vehicle. If the permit holder is a passenger rather than the driver, the permit can still be used as long as the individual is traveling in the vehicle. However, the permit should never be used by someone else when the permit holder is not present. For example, a friend or family member cannot legally use the permit to park in an accessible space if the permit holder is not with them. Doing so may be considered misuse and could lead to fines or penalties. Displaying the permit correctly is also important when using a rental car. The permit should be placed where it is clearly visible from outside the vehicle whenever the vehicle is parked in a designated accessible parking space. In many states, this means hanging the permit from the rearview mirror while the vehicle is parked. The permit should be removed or stored safely when the vehicle is in motion to avoid obstructing the driver's view. Because the permit is portable, it makes travel easier for individuals who rely on accessible parking. Whether you are renting a vehicle for a short trip or an extended stay in another city, bringing your disability parking permit ensures that you can continue to access accessible parking spaces during your travels. Another common concern when renting a vehicle involves traveling across state lines. In the United States, disability parking permits issued by one state are generally recognized in other states. This means that if you have a valid permit issued in your home state, you can usually use it in accessible parking spaces while visiting another state. However, while permits are widely recognized across states, specific parking rules may vary slightly. For example, some states may have different time limits for parking in certain areas or different rules regarding accessible parking near meters. Before traveling, it may be helpful to review local parking regulations in your destination area to avoid confusion or unexpected fines. International travel can be more complicated. Some countries recognize disability parking permits issued in other countries, while others may require special documentation or local permits. If you plan to travel internationally and rent a vehicle, researching accessibility regulations in advance can help ensure that you understand how parking permits are recognized in that country. Another consideration when using a rental car is ensuring that the vehicle meets your accessibility needs. While the permit allows access to accessible parking spaces, it does not guarantee that the rental vehicle itself will be equipped with accessibility features. Individuals who require adaptive equipment such as hand controls, wheelchair lifts, or specialized seating may need to arrange these features in advance with the rental company or through specialized mobility rental services. Many rental companies can provide vehicles with adaptive equipment if requested ahead of time, although availability may vary depending on location. Accessible parking spaces themselves are designed to accommodate vehicles carrying individuals with mobility challenges. These spaces are typically wider than standard parking spaces and often include adjacent access aisles marked with diagonal striping. The additional space provided by accessible parking allows wheelchair users to deploy ramps or lifts safely and gives drivers and passengers extra room to move in and out of the vehicle. When using accessible parking in a rental vehicle, it is important to follow all applicable parking rules and regulations. Always ensure that your permit is displayed clearly and that the space is being used only when the permit holder is present. Respecting these rules helps ensure that accessible parking spaces remain available for individuals who truly need them. Another important factor is keeping your permit secure during travel. When moving between vehicles or locations, make sure the permit is stored safely so it is not lost or damaged. If a permit is lost while traveling, it may be difficult to replace immediately, which could temporarily limit access to accessible parking spaces. Keeping the permit in a safe place when not in use and double-checking that it is removed from the rental vehicle before returning the car can help prevent this issue. Traveling with a disability parking permit offers flexibility and independence. Whether you are driving your own car, borrowing a vehicle, or renting one for a trip, the portability of the permit ensures that your accessibility accommodations travel with you. This allows individuals with mobility limitations to continue accessing parking spaces that make entering and exiting public places safer and more manageable. For many people with mobility challenges, accessible parking is not simply a convenience. It is an essential accommodation that allows them to participate fully in everyday life. Using your disability parking permit in a rental car helps ensure that travel plans remain accessible and that mobility needs continue to be supported no matter where the journey takes you. By understanding how disability parking permits work with rental vehicles and following the proper rules for display and usage, individuals can confidently travel while maintaining the accessibility and independence that these permits provide. We hope this video helped answer your questions. If you need a handicapped placard or plate and want to avoid the confusion and long wait times, visit handicappedparking.com. Our licensed doctors are available online to help you from the comfort of your home, making the process simple and stress-free. Subscribe for more helpful information on disabled parking permits and leave a comment if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.